Okay, I am here to show you some ins and outs of Google Meets. And I'm getting a lot of questions about Google Meets, a lot of questions about the class Meet link and how to invite kids to a Meet, and also how to share your screen and how the students could share their screen with you. So I actually made you guys a special classroom just for this purpose because all my other classrooms already have a Meet link generated. So that's going to be the first thing that I show you. If you want to generate a Meet link, you can click on this link here. It is also in the settings. So if you go to your settings, you would scroll down a little bit and there would be the Meet link here, and you could generate the Meet link. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm going to click it from my my header here. So I'm just going to click that, and you can just very easily generate Meet link, and then you will have this Meet link, and it will be in your class for the rest of the year. You'll just use this one link to get to Google Meets. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that right now because I do want to show you one way that you could invite your students to a Google Meet. So I made this announcement here. It says Columbia Homeroom, our next Google Meet will be on this date at this time. Attendance is mandatory and counts as a participation grade. Full disclosure, I am not sure what the official policies are on requiring or, making the attendance mandatory as a grade specifically, so you might want to have to clarify that. But it's just an idea because I know that a lot of you are struggling with having your students actually logging into your meets. Either they seem to not be taking it very seriously, or they don't realize how important it is to meet you. That, or they're not sure exactly when to meet. I'm not sure why they wouldn't be sure because I know you guys are all making announcements about it, but who knows. So anyway, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to add that Meet link. All right, and once I add it, you get this nice little link here, and it's just very clear what they are supposed to do. This is optional. You can always just make sure that your kids know that there is a link up here, and tell them that they can click on this link. There's also another way to that link, which is through classwork, and there's a little symbol up here and a little button that if they click will take them to the Meet. I'm not going to get into the Meet yet though. We will do that in a moment, but I am going to show you a couple other ways to invite students to a Google Meet. Of course, you can make an event. So I'm gonna create block 1 Google Meet, oops, wonky typing there, and then you would choose your time, you would choose your date, and you would do whatever time you want it to be and for whatever duration you want it to be, and then you can add your guests. And it's actually kind of cool here because you can start typing in your I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, there it is. You can start typing in like the name of your classes, and you can add all of the people that are in that class, because there's kind of like a Google Groups gets automatically generated sort of when you create a class. So you could do that. I wish I could find my Mrs. G's other practice classroom, but I don't think it's showing up because I don't have any students in it. So I might have to open that up just to show you that it shows up on their calendar if you do it like this. And there's a calendar that is attached to Google Classroom for the students to access. So once you do that, make sure you say add Google Meet video conferencing if it's not already on there, and you can add other things. But another important detail here is to make sure that it is in the correct classroom. So again, my Mrs. G's other classroom is not showing up because I don't have any other students in there, so I'm going to choose Mrs. G's practice classroom, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. So by doing that, it will show up in their calendar. So I am going to go to Mrs. G's other practice classroom, or my original practice classroom, to show you what I mean by the calendar. So in the classwork tab, they can click on Google Calendar, and they will see that it shows up on their calendar. So they could look at the whole week and see that there's a Google Meet. I had made that one earlier. That there's a Google Meet for that day. So it's just kind of cool because it does integrate with the calendar that way, and that's one way that you could choose to do it. And you could always make sure that you send emails out to them and they get emails about it. And that's just one other way if you choose to do it that way. And then the other way to get into Meets is to actually go to Google Meet, which you get to through the waffle here, because it looks like a waffle, and you can get to Meets through here. And I actually have it bookmarked up here because I do Meets a lot. And anyway, so if you want to maybe make like an impromptu meet, maybe with someone who's not in your classroom for some reason, or for some reason you feel like this is the best way to do it, I just kind of want to show you how to join a meet from here. So you can join or start a meet, and this box comes up and there is a space here that is for typing the meeting code or nickname only if you are joining someone else's meet. If it is your own meeting and you're starting it, just leave this blank and you can go ahead and continue, and then you'll be ready to join your meet. Once you join your meet, here's where you can add people to that meet. So you could add people, and again, you could find your class. It's not coming up here for whatever reason, and you could just, add somebody to that meet like that. So I don't know why my class isn't showing up in here, but anyway, this is one way to do it. You could send an email. You also can copy all of the information which came up on the screen before, so that went away because I was clicking on things too fast. You can also enter in a phone number directly from here for someone who doesn't have a computer. They don't have to have a computer or a working webcam or anything like that in order to participate in the Google Meet. Alright, so that was just that to show you how to enter in and what those things mean. So back to my classroom, I am going to go ahead and start a meet. So I'm just going to click on the meet. And this is where you can decide beforehand if you want to have your camera on, and if you want to have your the microphone on and the camera on, and then you would go ahead and join. You can also press present if you want to start off presenting. So you can choose your Chrome tab, your entire screen, or a window. So you can do that, right off the bat. And it does kind of, if you choose not to, it is a little wonky. So I'm just going to pick this little Google Slides here and share, and it's just going to share on my tab here. So thank you for letting me know that. And the way that you know if a tab is presenting is it has this little blue square on it, and it'll tell you that it is presenting. Alright, sharing this to meet.google.com. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to go back to my Meet, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, so now the honest truth is that I usually don't do it like that, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the call and rejoin the meeting. And I'm just going to join it regularly by pressing join now. And this is the way that I normally do it. Oh, here's the information for adding others. Again, if you want, before you add people, you can actually have this join information here, and you can copy the joining info, and then you can paste that into an email. You can paste it into your Google Classroom. You can paste it, wherever, or send it to somebody. in the moment, and I don't need that right now, so I'm not going to worry about adding others into this meeting. Alrighty, so there's a couple cool features here. We're going to start with the Present Now. When you click on it, it gives you those options again, your entire screen, a window, or a Chrome tab. So we have your entire screen, and if you choose that, you will see a screen here, and you need to click on it. When you click on it, the box turns, it has like a little blue box around it, and then the share button is activated, so you can share once you have selected your screen. And then your screen will show up, and if you actually look at your screen while you're on it, it's this like sort of repeating image off into infinity forever and ever and ever. But the students will see whatever is on your screen. So you can move between tabs, you can go to a different window, you can minimize all of your screens and show them something on your desktop if you need to, show them something in another program. Maybe you have a slideshow or another document and you want to show that to them. The only thing about this is you really want to be very careful about how you go about doing this, because you don't want to accidentally show anything to your students that might be sensitive information, another student's work, your inbox, your calendar that might have meetings for IEPs or just parent conference meetings or anything like that. So you just really need to be careful about what you have open and what you have showing, and make sure that you are paying attention to that, and just make sure that everything on your desktop is stuff that you're okay with students seeing and that they're allowed to see. So the other option that you have here too is, I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting that screen, is a window. So if you choose a window, it will show you the windows that you have open. And I thought I had another window open here. I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but I'm gonna move it here real quick. I'm just clicking and dragging, and that's how you can get tabs in and out of your, take them out and then move them back. Let's see if this works. Okay, so back to my Meet, Present Now, a window, and now it's showing up. I don't know why that didn't work before. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and select that window, and now they're only going to see what's in this window. So you would present that window, and this is what it looks like to them. All right, so they would see only what's in that window. Now, I did this on purpose. I pulled this window up like this so that you see all my documents, and this is another example of when you might want to be very careful to make sure that maybe you have your slide pulled up that you want them to be able to see. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this up, and ideally this is what your students will see when you start presenting that window to them. This is a great way to show kids, how to do some of these drag and drop worksheets. You can demonstrate it for them, and you can say, you're supposed to copy and paste these lines, and tell them how they're supposed to do these assignments. So that's, you can also show, presentations, slideshows, lectures, videos. When you have a window open, that means they can see everything in this window. So if you open up another tab and you want to show them a YouTube video, then you can do that, and they'll see whichever tab you're on in that window. Just again, be careful. I would prefer to have all of this stuff already pulled up and ready to go, so that you know that they are, my daughter watches videos on my computer, so that you know that they're ready to go, so they don't see all of these little videos, and they watch, exactly what you want them to be watching. So it's just a consideration that I think is really important to make, because otherwise they may end up seeing stuff that you don't intend for them to see, or it could be that they just start laughing at the silly videos that you watch, and it's a disruption to class. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting this window, and I'm going to present just a tab. And I'm going to choose a tab that I have in my window right now, which is my classwork for Miss G's Practice Classroom. And that's this tab right here. Again, it shows this little blue box, and that's how you know that that is what is being presented on your Google Meet. Now notice that I'm in a totally different tab, but just because you can't see your Meet, the students can see what you want them to see. So they're looking at this right now. So if we go to here and look at what I'm presenting, you'll see that that's all they see. Now if I go here, or if I go over here, they're not gonna see that. They only see this tab. If I open up a new tab, they're only gonna still see this tab. So if there's something you want them to see different, you're gonna have to get it through this tab. And you know, just like I said earlier, anything that you don't want them to see, they're gonna have to see, because you can't pull it up ahead of time. You have to get to something new from this tab. So if I went ahead and I changed that, you know, again to, let's just say, a YouTube video, then over here, you know, this is what they're seeing. They're seeing my YouTube loading. They're seeing, you know, everything that's over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting that. And if you need to see your student screen for some reason, which happens, sometimes the student will tell you, you know, that they're having an issue, or maybe you're having a one-on-one meet with a student because they need a little bit of extra help, and you just can't see their screen, and so you can't, you know, understand maybe what a problem is, or, you know, there's tons of reasons why you need to see what the student is seeing. And that's one of the most difficult parts of all of this, is not being able to see what things look like on their end. So they have the same options that you have, and you just tell them, you know, look down in the lower right hand corner of your screen and click on Present Now, and tell them all the things that I just told you. So that's basically everything you need to know really about using it. I mean, there are some other things. Let's say, you know, you need to add someone else while you're in it. You can go and add people, you know, while you're in the meeting. You can add them by sending them an email with an invitation, or you can, of course, call them and enter their phone number so that they can be part of that Google Meet. So let's say a student didn't show up for the meet, and you find out it's because their computer's not working, then you can just get their phone number and call them from the meet, and they can still participate. They won't be able to see things, but they can still listen. They can still, you know, give their input when appropriate. Of course, there's a chat feature here, which most of you are very aware of from our faculty meetings. Just also be aware of this while you are presenting, because, you know, students might take it over and have their own conversations in there, and you won't know anything about it until after you're done. So just be careful with the chat. And I'll be honest right now, I'm really not sure if there's an option for turning the chat off. I've looked through all of these settings and I haven't found it. There are, you know, a few settings here. It's always good to just go through and see what they all mean. You also can record your meeting from the settings. You just want to make sure, of course, that you ask for consent from anybody in that video, because you should never record anybody without them knowing. So I'm going to go ahead and say accept, so it'll record this for the last few minutes that I'm doing it, and see what happens there. So another thing that's kind of interesting is you do have the option to turn on captions. So these captions are just generated by a voice recognition program, and they do a pretty good job of turning what I'm just saying off the top of my head into text. So this is very useful if you have students who are ELL, and it helps them to be able to see what you're saying written down. And of course also very helpful for students you have that maybe have a hearing disability and need to have the captions so they can keep up with what you are saying. So as you can see here, it does do a pretty good job of recording everything that I'm saying. It might not be perfect. There might be little typos everywhere. But it's enough to get by, and it's actually a pretty cool feature of Google Meets. So I think that is really all that we need to know. If I do figure out if there's a way to turn this chat off, I will let you know. If anyone else knows if there's a way to turn the chat off, if you like it off, then please let me know, because I would be very interested in that information. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting. No, I'm not presenting anything, so never mind. I'm just going to go ahead and close out of this meet, because I do believe that is basically all I need to show you. There's a way to play games like Kahoot and stuff through Google Meets. I think I'm going to have to do a separate video of that, because I had intended to add it onto this video, but then I had some technical difficulties on my end because my computer was already full of videos. Okay, hopefully this helps everybody, and remember, if you need me, I'm here. I just give me an email or call me if I'm in my room. It's GurnaC@ColumbiaK12.com. It's GonnaC@ColumbiaK. Oh man. See, the captions aren't perfect. I am going to go ahead and turn this off, and just remember that if you need me, that you can email me at GurnaC@ColumbiaK12.com. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching my videos, and take this information and run with it. Bye-bye.